Hey everyone, it's Dorcas and welcome back to my channel. Now it is currently Tuesday, September 30th, which means that tomorrow is the start of October. And I thought that it would be fun to kind of set up the pages for the upcoming month with you so you can kind of see my process. I won't do a full flip through of this book, but I will give a quick overview so you know what I'm even working in, and then we'll get started. So to start, I have some Tombow markers that'll kind of coordinate with the month. I have a few washi tapes that I will use in my vertical weekly pages. Put that here. And then I have some other tools that I'll be using as I set things up. So a little overview. So this is kind of what I've dubbed a Bujo-nichi. And I can't take credit for the phrase. I think I saw it somewhere on social media or YouTube. But basically, I took two plain Hobonichi notebooks and bound them together. So it's really chunky right now. It was much thinner when I first started. But I basically took the front cover of one book, and it probably starts around here. Yeah, definitely here. I took the front cover of one book and then the back cover of another, and then I taped those pages together, and then I kind of used some bookbinding tape to make it seem seamless. And what I've done, and the reason why I've done this is because I've used the Hobonichi cousin before, and I found that one, the daily pages were kind of overwhelming, and two, in using the Hobonichi cousin, I learned how to plan in a vertical format. So let me see if I can just show a quick example. And I'll try to stay in frame, but no promises. I like to plan or memory keep in a vertical format, but I like to plan and do my to-do list and events in a horizontal format because I also have the Hobonichi weeks. So the only way I could get that is if I just created it myself, which is what I've done here. So I'll flip through it really quick. This is kind of the yearly overview, which I never go back to. I try to do gold pages, and 2025 just kind of took a turn at the beginning, so I didn't go back to that. But I've drawn out all of the layouts that I've used in this notebook. So I've got my monthly calendars all in the front. Then I did this last year, this kind of bullet journaling note like style, and I had all of my horizontal pages together, all of my vertical pages together, and then all of my daily or blank pages in the back. And I found that I hated kind of flipping back and forth so much. So what I tried this year is to group the months together instead of just go like marking it as I went, using all of my January pages and then going into February pages. This time I did it by month group. Okay, so I'm not quite sure if that made sense, but when I go deeper, I'll show you kind of the evolution of my planning system. So I wanted to just set out a certain amount of blank pages for the month and take it from there. So you'll see these are my kind of horizontal pages, verticals, and then I have blank pages, and that's where I do my daily journaling, and I just write as much as I feel like writing for the day, and then I put the sticker for the next wherever that falls, and then go on until the following month. So for October, let's go to that page. So for October, I am going to set up my horizontal pages, my horizontal layout. I like to start by dividing up each date. So I have space for meals and for the weather. I do my events on this side, tasks on this side. I have a running to-do list for the whole week here, and it's kind of like, I call it an inbox because it's just, I might not know when I'm gonna do it, but I just want to put it somewhere so that I don't forget and it's just out of my head. And here's when I do my habit trackers. So as an example, so I have a little this week, like what I want to prioritize or the mood I want to set for the week. And then I have my different habits, self-care, tasks, and then I just keep track of when I do that thing. And I'll tell you, like, these are all little Coffee Monster sticker icons. This is from Coffee Monster's 2025 kits. And then for my, I'll use this one because it was blank because I was traveling and all of that. I divide the vertical memory keeping time tracking pages. I put a washi tape at the front, at the top, washi tape at the bottom. I use the, usually time it from 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. And then I use that top part to put in my mood that day or when I first wake up. And then this is also from Helen at Coffee Monsters Co. kits, but sometimes I also use Every Minute a Story, or, it's usually between those two because I like the full boxes from their kits. So why don't we get started? I'm gonna use my pencil and my ruler. And I'll try to stay out of frame, but again, no promises. And this is getting a little more difficult as the year goes along because the book is definitely getting fluffier. Let me make sure. So I usually have this side is just slightly larger than this column because I do tasks here and my events are usually kind of short. And then this I divide it into two, and I do weather for the week at the top and then the meal I had at the bottom. One day I'd like to get to a point where I can meal plan ahead of time, but sometimes it's just on a whim, what we feel like eating. Okay. So now that you see how I've laid this out, I'm going to go ahead and draw out the layouts for the other weeks in October, and then we'll get started on this side of the page. Okay, so I have finished drawing out all of the layouts in the weekly horizontal pages. So those are all good to go. I'm only gonna set up the first week. I'll write the inbox here for all of them and set up the habit trackers at the beginning of the month, but then I go week by week when it comes to doing the weather and then putting the events, the tasks, and then the running to-do list. I do kind of set up the habit trackers and drawing the layouts, but then the actual content goes week by week. So now that we have our first week, we are going to start doing the inbox titles. And for that, because I've been using the Coffee Monsters Co. Kits, 2025 kits, Helen released a downloadable resource that has the Tombow markers that fit with each month's theme. And so I have those here. I also have some other ones on the side because sometimes I find that maybe the colors are a little too light. For example, these two look very similar, and so we'll see. Sometimes I just have to go over it a few times for it to pop up, but I kind of just go on a whim. You know, I pick two colors that I think would work well together and go off of that. So for this first month or this first week, I'm going to go with these two. And the way I do it is I have the header at the top. So I have that. Sometimes you get that little kind of accumulation of ink, so I like to just rub it back in. And then I'll write inbox on this side. And I've been doing this this is just kind of my go-to layout for a couple years now, and you know, figured if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm gonna check the spacings for these by going back to the previous month. Oh, already made a mistake. I also like to alternate the colors. And I'll go over that again. So this one's a little harder because it doesn't fully line up, but I think I'm going to do the days of the week just to make sure I have enough space for it. All right, then we'll take this. I was right. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and do that on the other pages. Okay, so I have gone ahead and done my colors and the headings for the rest of the weeks. And now what I'm going to do is I like to take my Pentel EnerGel Clena and just highlight that this says inbox. So I just like to write over it. And it's totally crooked, but that's okay because I usually tilt my planner at an angle and it works out. So that was me trying to compensate, I guess. Now we're going to do our weather. And I kind of use all of the tools. For some reason, I just like writing this in the gel pen. I think it flows nicer for script. But I always do my planning and my to-do list in a ballpoint. I think it's because I don't like waiting for things to dry. I just kind of want to jot things down and move on, or close my book without worrying about it smudging. So we're going to do our weather. Okay, so it is currently Tuesday, but I do know that yesterday it was sunny. With a high of 66, low of 66, and high of 77. And so I just go through, do the lows on the left and then the high on the right. So I'm going to go ahead and do that for the rest of the week. Okay, so we've got our weather down. Like I said, this is a space for meal plans or for just tracking what we ate. I rarely go back to check the weather, but I do go back to track what we ate just so that I know, okay, well, when was the last time we went to some restaurant, or where, how often are we having pizza, or do we have chicken last week? Oh, then maybe let's change it up, things like that. Um, so for here, I'm gonna go ahead and start working all of my habit trackers in. Like I said, this are Coffee Monsterz Co. icons. I have a ton of them. I've actually run out, and so I'm waiting for an order to come in so I can refresh those. And I've just kind of been leaving it blank because I like consistency, and I am going to just go back when I get those stickers and pop in that icon. So I'm going to go ahead. This is kind of, it can be a slow, tedious process, but usually I'm just watching something or I'm on the phone with someone, and then I just kind of get lost in just doing the icons. So I'm not gonna have you sit through all of that. I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then I will show you what it looks like once they're all put down. Okay, so now we have put in all of our icons, and I'm going to put in the headers for each of these sections. So these are habits, these are self-care activities, these are just mostly household tasks. Okay. And I like using tweezers because these icons are so tiny that if you try to put it with your finger, you'll basically cover the whole thing. So it helps with alignment as well. And then I ran out of this week stickers a long time ago, so I'm going to write that in myself. There we go. And I also went ahead and did the other pages for the rest of the month. And so there are some holes, like I mentioned before. Those are just icons that I need to stock up on, and they should be on their way. So I'm gonna put those aside. And once I'm ready to plan out the week, I will do my running to-do list here, put in my events, and then I'll just choose from my inbox what I want to do each day. Usually if I know that something needs to be done by a certain day, I kind of work backwards so that it's done by the deadline. But usually I'll reserve a few lines to do. I'll do the things that I know I have to do that day, but then as the day goes on, if I know that it's going to be a little more open, I'll select a couple of things and put them in for that day. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the horizontal layouts. And next we are going to go into our vertical kind of time tracking, memory keeping section. So for here, it really mimics the layout of the Hobonichi cousin, in that we have these columns with the dates at the top. The Hobonichi cousin obviously already has the times all the way down, but because I break it up into sections, I only have the time listed for this middle section, or basically this bottom part. And then I have the washi tape running along the top, and then just a little washi tape at the bottom for decoration. And then once I have those down, then I put in the times, because sometimes the space is a little different depending on how thick this bottom washi is. I have these full boxes. This one, since it's October is spooky vibes, I just selected some Halloween themed full boxes. Again, just for decoration, just something nice. And then I use the colors and the theme of the full box to dictate which washi tapes I use. So as an example, so for this, there I have the full boxes. Like I mentioned, I use the little emoji stickers from the Coffee Monsterz Co. I have washi here, washi there, and then I do the timeline. So let's see. So for this first week, I have selected this one because it has a ghost, and we have a Coffee Monsterz Co. The Spooky Neighborhood washi tape, and then this is just a simple spotted tape from Simply Gilded. And so I'll do the bottom. And then I do the top. It's a little hard because I'm not right up against the top of the planner, but we'll make do. There. So I like to keep 7 spaces at the top, again, so that I have space to write, to put the emoji sticker and then write a little bit about how I was feeling, kind of like that. Okay, and then with this space, I'm gonna start putting in the timeline. All right, so I did that. Only takes, it looks really cumbersome, but it only takes a couple of minutes, and it's definitely a labor of love. But you know, I've been doing it this whole year, so I'm almost there, and I'm proud of myself for continuing with this. The reason why I draw up my layouts in pencil and throughout the entire book is because I like how it's just dark enough for me to see, but it's not super in your face, and then it allows for the other elements that I stick on there, say it's stickers or other boxes, deco, it kind of makes it makes it pop out. So also, I have been known to mess up when I am putting in the times. Maybe I'll do like 10, 11, 12, 13, and doing it in pencil has been a lifesaver. So yeah, so throughout the whole book, all of the layouts and the things that are just consistent are in gray in pencil. So that's how I like it. Okay, so we did this page this first week, and then I'm going to go ahead and do the washi tapes and the timelines for the rest of the month. Now, before I do that, I'll just tell you what are the tapes that I'm using. So for this one, I'm coordinating it with Coffee Monsterz Co. A spooky bookshelf, because there's books there. And then this one from, let's see, Subtle Dreams. It's part of a three set. So I'm gonna pair this there for the third week. I still haven't decided, but I definitely want to use this one, which is from Once More with Love, just because it has little planner supplies hanging, and it has little you know, Halloween elements hanging in this one. But then because he's sleeping, I'm not sure if I want to use this one from Simply Gilded, the little kind of constellations, or this other one from Coffee Monsterz Co., which has sleepy bedtime elements. So no, I haven't decided. For this week, I'm using this black washi, like the night or black galaxy from Coffee Monsterz Co., and this other one from Subtle Dreams with these gray clouds. So I'll do that. And then for Halloween week, I'm going to use Every Minute a Story Halloween Town down here, and then kind of like this purple one from Subtle Dreams, like Purple Mountains up top. Maybe I'll change that up. Also don't know, maybe I'll grab one of the others to put it here, but let's see if maybe this one works better. Yeah, I think this one works better. I know that this one is very light, but that's totally fine with me. Yeah, I know this time last year I had like no Halloween washi tapes. I think maybe I had a Spooky Town, but my planner group friends gifted me some samples last year so that I can use it in my daily pages. I really wish I had gotten a Cozy Halloween from Coffee Monsterz Co. I think maybe that would have worked here, but I don't have enough of the samples to have it be enough for the full page. So that's why I'm using these. And again, since then I've acquired a bunch of other Halloween themed washi tapes, so I can use those. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put down the washis for the other weeks, do the timelines, and then we'll circle back. Okay, so I finished putting down all of the washi. I finished adding the times for each week. And so let's take a look at all of the pages. So we've got this again. I have to go back in and add those missing icons. Week 1 is set up. I just have to go in and put in my dates, do my to-do list. It's now Tuesday, so I'm feeling a little all over the place because I didn't set this up yesterday morning or Sunday night. So then these are what the other pages look like. So those are the horizontal layouts. And then for the vertical layout, this is what it looks like. I'll put in the emojis for yesterday and today. For this one, I ended up switching out that bottom washi for this Subtle Dreams one. I wasn't quite happy with how this looked. It was a little too jarring. Like it didn't really match for me. And I'm still not quite sure if this goes, but I'm just gonna rock with it and it should be fine. We have this one and then this one. Okay, and that's pretty much it. Now I'm just kind of ready to go in with my pen and start using these pages because I was feeling a little disorganized, but I wanted to kind of give you guys a look at what I typically do to set up for the month. Obviously, I still have to go into my calendar and put in the dates and appointments that I have coming up, but I usually, it looks like this typically. And then that should be it. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, a little peek into my process, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.